squeaking.
Another one. We got another one coming this week. No squeaking in the chairs either. Finally got a decent setup.
Nice and quiet.
Nice.
It's still kind of temporary, but it's a nice setup.
It's way better than what it was last week. Squeaking every fucking 2 seconds. I wanted to re-listening to it. I wanted to like punch myself in the face because I kept lying to myself the whole time, like, "Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad." But you already know what it is. 3-man lineup. We're back with another week of this shit.
Episode 6.
Running them down.
So we are on a 6-week hot streak for the most part. I mean, a couple of them we had troubles getting up.
A lot of this shit's really hard. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Like, when you take this shit a little more like serious over time, it does get a little harder. Like, because you got to figure out how to like really like get a system going.
You know, whenever I do something that involves technology, I always say, as long as you handle that,
even that, like,
this isn't my strong suit. It never has been. It never will be.
Yeah, but it's another beautiful Sunday. We got a couple of games going on. A game I want to talk about.
It's Halloween.
Yeah, it is Halloween. Oh yeah, spooky season. We already talked about that Halloween movie last week, so can't bring it up. But
you want to talk about spooky? Trevor Siemian, Geno Smith, and Mike White all won NFL games today. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, is that like a game over yet?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. See, I was keeping my eye on that game all throughout it, and to see, I always thought this Saints had a really good defense. I think Demario Davis played like a beast today. He's really good for them. And did you see that crazy injury Jameis Winston had with his knee?
I did not see that.
Oh, it looked pretty bad. He tried to get up and walk it off, but you saw the replay, and you definitely know it looks like an ACL, an MCL, something with his knee. His knee's probably shredded up right now. And the fact that Trevor Siemian, the last time I heard his name, I'm pretty sure he was playing for the Broncos. The last time I heard Trevor Siemian's name.
Yeah, and I didn't think he did anything since. He might have gone to the Raiders, but I might be making that up.
Yeah.
I know Nate Peterman was there. Maybe I'm confusing the two, but
could be that Cook guy who played for Michigan State.
I don't know who that is.
I saw that.
Geno Smith plugging in kind of nicely for Russell Wilson. I'm not comparing the two, but he's exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, they're a little bit of like the same quarterback. I mean, I've watched some of their games, and like you can kind of see the resemblance, but you could also tell this is why Geno Smith is a backup. You know, like he does a lot of things that Russell Wilson can do, but not as good, and not at the right times, and not when you really need him to do anything. Like, I think he's a really good backup game manager. Like, if you have a really good defense, you need to lean on your defense a little more. And I don't really think. I think Jamal Charles, their safety, Jamal Adams. Yeah, I think he's overrated. I don't like him.
Oh yeah.
I think he's way overrated. I think he wants to be that like, oh, Legion of Boom, we're back 2.0. But you're like the only guy who's saying that. Like everybody's over it by now. You know what I'm saying?
Is he saying that?
I think when he first got there, I think that was the type of vibe he was trying to set, and I think that's still the type of vibe he tries to set.
He's pretty much useless. I mean, he doesn't really like all of the highlights I've seen. He's either getting burnt or he's sacking somebody in the backfield.
Yeah, and it's like, you want pass rushers to do that. I don't need my safety every once in a while to get a sack.
He thinks he's like Jalen Ramsey.
I'm pretty sure he has more sacks than he does picks.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. I'll take that to the bank. And then you want to talk about a good game. So it'd be Thursday night with Green Bay and Arizona, right?
Yeah. So the Packers were never the favorites to begin with. I believe they were 2-point underdogs, and then Devontae Adams was ruled out, and they were 6-point underdogs, and then one of their other receivers, I can't think of his name, was also ruled out, and I was like, "There's no way Green Bay is going to win this." You know, it's Aaron Rodgers in prime time. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a Hall of Famer, but I don't trust Aaron Rodgers in prime time. That's just like
what?
One of those things. I don't.
What?
I don't. When you have to come up with a big play, I just don't count. Unless it's a Hail Mary, then I'll probably cover my eyes.
I'll give you last season when he didn't run it in, right? I'll give you when he played the Bucs, he should have ran that ball in.
His record in primetime games against teams with a record above 500 is not good at all. Look it up. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I didn't like their chances. And they went into this game and they competed. And then AJ Green signed a contract with Green Bay. in the fourth quarter.
See, that was that. I've never been like so. I was like falling asleep throughout that game, and then like really when Arizona got the ball back and they started to go down the field, and I was like, oh my god, like they're actually gonna they're gonna make this shit happen. And honestly, Kyle Murray's legit. He's a short guy, and I don't think people give him a lot of respect, but he's legit. I think people need to I think he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. I think he's the perfect. I think he's what Lamar Jackson should strive to be.
If Lamar could throw, you get Kyler Murray.
Yeah, exactly. But think about it. Think about like a bigger guy than Lamar. Like, think about it. If he could just throw the ball, he could be 10 times better.
Yes.
But I didn't say that.
Kyler Murray, he should be known around the league as the multi-tool quarterback, the dual threat.
Yeah, but like a pure dual threat, because I feel like most days people, when they say dual threat, it's he's above average on running and maybe a little above average on throwing. Right. But he can get them both done. Right. I think Kyler Murray's phenomenal at both. Intermediate passes, deep passes. Like he had this one pass to D-Hop where you could just see he just throws it up there. And some of them, his releases just don't look pretty. But I think that's that kind of like that baseball background of something where like you could just throw bombs, and he could just throw bombs over Baghdad all day. I don't know if Hiroshima I'm talking about all the time.
I don't know if you'd agree with this, but like in my opinion, he can't juke people as good as Lamar, and he doesn't have Josh Allen's arm.
Yeah, but he has.
But he's the perfect mix of both.
I think he has just an amount of speed. All right, I think he's faster than Lamar. I think Lamar's just more elusive. Mm-hmm. And that gives him the aura of being faster when he can just sit here and juke around and be so elusive and so fluid. When you see Kyler Murray take off, his little legs go. Like, he's all out of here. Like, he had a couple, when I was watching the game, he had a couple of first down runs, and you could just, he moved fucking quick.
He looks like that little kid running with his candy. They draft Kyler 1 overall. And they throw him into what is now known as the toughest division in football, and he's
running that shit.
Yeah, he competes right up there with Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford now.
Do you think Russell Wilson has like kind of downgraded his play? You know what I'm saying? Like, every single time I watch Russell Wilson, I just remember him like years ago, and I'm like, damn, he used to be so better, but people still put him in that upper echelon of, top 5 quarterback in the league whenever he plays. You know what I'm saying? Like, people still put him in that say because they're like, oh, well, he's not working with a lot of weapons or this, and that. But I don't know. Like, I think he was playing better, a couple of years ago. I think he's slowly degrading.
I wouldn't put him. I wouldn't put him in that elite category anymore. But he's at the absolute top of best.
Yeah, exactly.
Right below elite. Like, he is the number 1 in that category below.
Okay, give me your top 5 elite quarterbacks.
Top 5?
Yeah.
No particular order.
In order.
Right now. 1, I'd still say Tom's playing the best.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with you on that.
All right, I thought that's where we're gonna fight.
No, I can't. I mean, not today, but I think the Saints defense really stepped up. But I would still give you that. Right. For what he's doing at his age, he is still an elite quarterback.
Interchangeably right now, 2 and 3, regardless of how they played in recent weeks, I put Mahomes and Rodgers at 2 and 3. And if you put one or at 2 or 3, I wouldn't be mad. And then honestly.
But yeah, I want them in order. I don't care. That's no interchangeable bullshit.
All right, I'll put Mahomes at 2, Rodgers at 3.
Okay.
No, I'll switch that around just because of
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I was about to put the table.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Dak's been really impressing me. I'm sorry. I like that.
Wait. So you're gonna put Dak number 5 as elite?
No. Well. Here's the thing. My elite category doesn't necessarily mean top 5.
But you're still going to say Dak Prescott is elite? So you're really going to
No, I'm not.
But I just asked. That was the fucking question.
No, you didn't talk about elite.
Give me your top 5 elite quarterbacks in order. And you said Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Pat Mahomes. Dak Prescott, is that your number
Right.
4?
Okay. Well, no, I'd have to think about that. But honestly, like
quick. I don't care.
Those 3, Brady, Rodgers, and Mahomes.
Okay, you got 2 more spots. What's up?
To me, those are the only 3 that belong in the elite category right now.
Ooh, that's a little cheeky.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Like everyone else is really good. Like so going with what I said earlier, it might make sense to put Russell Wilson at 4.
Okay.
If you're talking about overall, I mean, I'm not just trying to look at just this year. Like obviously this is a big part, but and I'm not trying to look back 10 years ago either. You know, I'm just
I hate when
in the recent future.
Yeah.
I mean past. So if I put Russell Wilson at 4, I would think Kyler Murray or Dak is at 5, and Josh Allen maybe at 6. You know, I don't want to put him down either. Listen, a lot of quarterbacks are playing really well right now, and if I have time later on after this to make my actual top 5, I mean maybe that is it, but I have a feeling.
I agree. I would agree with that whole take on it. That those are the only 3 elite. I mean, Pat Mahomes isn't elite in the past few games.
No, he hasn't. But that's what I'm trying
to
say.
His overall starting record has been elite. I mean, like, first year starting a...
last year and the year before, he was the number 1 quarterback in the league throughout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I give you that.
So I'm just trying to, the way he's been playing this year and not really leading his team to victories as often as he does, he drops a couple spots.
Speaking of people who led their team to victory, the Jets got a big upset today.
Yeah, quarterback Mike White in his first career start. They stunned the Bengals.
Mike White.
34-31.
I didn't really look at that game because it's the fucking Jets. I'd rather watch paint dry. And apparently, that Mike White had a good game. I saw a couple of highlights. He
405 passing yards.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What does that say about the Bengals defense? Is that just a bad day?
Who day? Who day? Mike White. That's who
Mike White. That's who they is. Mike White.
Whenever I read the Bengals like tweet something, I just hear like who day. Like,
honestly, that is that. Who they about to take an L? The Bengals. And it's the Jets too.
Mike White.
It's like a cold winter night. It's Mike White. So you know what I'm saying? Like, when the wind just blasts right.
I just
by
got
you.
this win.
Mike White with a win. Oh my god. Who's the Jets got for receivers though? Because I know they got rid of Robbie Anderson.
They have Jamison Crowder.
Okay, who's that?
They have Elijah Moore.
Who's that?
Rookie, I believe.
Elijah
got
Moore.
his first touchdown last week against the Patriots.
Good for him. Fuck the Patriots.
There are 3 I'm not sure about. I'm
pretty sure no one's sure about that.
The tight ends, I'm also unsure about that. The
Titans.
What? No, tight ends.
Oh, okay. I was like, the Titans. Well, so the Bengals defense, they got they stole Mike Hilton from us for the Steelers, which I was kind of salty about, but fuck him, took a fat L today.
I'll be honest, I haven't watched a full Bengals game at all this year, but
no, Joe Burrow's legit. Joe Burrow is legit. I honestly, I feel like people sleep on him just because he got hurt. Because before he got hurt, he was I think he was like a top 5 quarterback in the league at the time. I think he was gonna be rookie of the year.
Yeah,
like he was on pace to do that. He was on pace to break a couple of records. I'm pretty sure. They correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I think a lot of people kind of just give
him and Justin Herbert were neck and neck. That's what it was.
Yeah, and Justin Herbert beat him out for it.
Because
but I think Justin Herbert is a better quarterback than Joe Burrow, and I think he really fits. I think he really fits the Chargers system. Even though they took a loss today, I thought he made a lot of smart decisions. I don't know if you saw that play when the Chargers had it on their 1, and it was a third down move, and he got flushed out, and he literally made the right play to throw it out of bounds, live to fight another day. Yeah. I feel like a lot of young quarterbacks, they're gonna try to run out of the pocket, get a little something, like Jalen Hurts. You see Jalen Hurts do it all the time. He doesn't know when to throw the ball away, and he puts himself in worse situations.
Yeah, no, he's.
But I'm not gonna. Let's not rag on Jalen Hurts because he had. I think they won today. The Eagles won. They're up.
Who did they play?
Detroit.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
That was.
It was like 44-6.
No, yeah. But it was like because the Rams were up against the Texans 30. They think they were both up 36-0 at halftime, and the Texans saw 22 unanswered points in the fourth.
I saw the halftime score and the final score, and I said, what happened to the Texans at halftime? Did they make a change at quarterback?
Who do they still have at quarterback?
Davis Mills.
Who the fuck is that?
Another rookie.
Is it Davis Mills?
Davis Mills.
I've never heard of that guy.
He was taken in the 4th round, I believe. And he hasn't played bad. It's just the Texans.
Yeah, it is. I wish they just let Deshaun Watson go. Just let the man go.
So let's talk about that real quick. So,
you had a lot of interesting things that we didn't even really talk about last week with that.
Yeah, so there is a trade in place that's set to happen, but Miami wants all of Deshaun Watson's legal issues resolved before the trade becomes final. And I believe his court hearing's in January. Now, what makes this interesting is it's supposed to be a 3-team trade, from what I hear, from what I'm reading. And it's
you got linkage with Shefty?
Yeah, I got him on the phone right now.
You got Shefty on the line? Are we big time?
The Washington football team apparently, or supposedly, I should say, is in the running to get Tua.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I think that'd be good for Washington. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, they'll have something to build on. It's like a nice car that has a really shitty motor. You know what I'm saying? Like, the car looks nice. It's gonna look really nice parked on the side of the highway. But at least it's gonna look nice. They'll have a lot of young pieces that they can sit here and say, "Oh, we're building blah da da da."
I like Heineke. He's not a franchise quarterback, but with
with
where they are right now, I like him. And I honestly didn't agree with the signing.
Like a Case Keenum. He's a really good quarterback, but no one you want to say is a franchise quarterback.
I wouldn't even consider Case Keenum good.
All right. The couple of years he played with the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
He was considered a really good quarterback.
I remember they started 6-0 one year with him.
Exactly. It's okay. You could say the same thing about the Viking quarterback now. Who the fuck?
Kirk Cousins.
First Cousins. That's the shit that Sharp always calls me. I think that's hilarious. First Cousins. Okay. Key in the
I liked Kirk more on the football team or Redskins at the time than the Vikings now. For some reason on the Redskins he was like an underrated player, and now
that whole team it's always been like trash. I mean, the Washington Redskins I think have been just as bad as almost the Jets. In some sort of cases.
They were at the bottom of the league for a while.
Exactly.
But now that Kirk's on the Vikings and he actually has some decent weapons and a decent team around him, I feel like Kirk's the one holding them back.
Well, yeah, the bar is raised. Of course, if you do mediocre shit on a bad team, you're gonna look fantastic. That's why Kirk Cousins got paid the first time he got paid big money, and the second time he got paid big money. And that's why I'm pretty sure Case Keenum got paid big money.
It was an $80 million contract.
Oh yeah,
with the Vikings.
Oh,
and then Case Keenum got paid by the Rams for his rookie contract.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, that's another thing I don't understand. Teams signing their rookie quarterbacks is such huge deals. Like you saw Zach Wilson hold out all of OTAs, most of training camp, until he got his $35 million deal or whatever it was.
I think it's just like the financial security of things.
I think ego's a lot has to do with it. And
but Zach Wilson's from BYU. His ego belongs to Jesus.
And as of right now, Mike White is beating him out of a job.
Mike White.
like Mike. Listen.
Oh, now the Bengals, they're here though.
That's what they're gonna hear when They all lay their heads on
Joe
their
Burrow's
pillows.
going to roll over. All he's going to hear is, oh my God! It's Mike White! Miles, come over here! No, I think of the right team. Oh my God.
Did you hear your door like...
It doesn't hurt, it just... I'm here for you, Joe. I was just so stunned, and it is good to see like a backup quarterback that nobody knows just come out of the, especially 400 plus yards today.
405, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good day.
Even against the Patriots, his first career pass was a touchdown. Like, I was like,
even the Bucks, they had a receiver to catch his first receiving touchdown. I don't think the Bucks are that good. I'm just gonna say that out loud.
I think keeping the same exact team is not a good decision.
Yeah, I think the idea of running it back is a hard deal. Because you look at the Seahawks, they did it.
Because you gotta have something different.
Well, the Seahawks did it, and they could be back-to-back Super Bowl champions, but Pete Carroll's a dumbass. Forgot to drink his shirt in the morning. He was pulling a Joe Biden, didn't know what to do. Let's go, Brandon. But I don't.
We talked about that.
I think the Bucks defense is a little suspect, especially losing today to Trevor Siemian. I mean, like that guy, he's nothing to write home about.
Well, they signed Richard Sherman as like, I'm so glad we have them because we needed more depth, and Richard Sherman now is like, might as well put a scarecrow out there.
And that's what I'm saying. Like and they're doing exactly, I think, what the Lakers are doing, right? They're bringing a lot of like old veterans that are they're knowledgeable about the game. They know they've either been in a Super Bowl, played in big games, and they're used to being in big time moments. Now, have they actually lived up to those big time moments? Not a lot of them, but some of them have. So I think that's exactly what the Patriots are trying to do with bringing in these old veterans, and some of them work out. Like
the Buccaneers?
The Buccaneers. They brought in Ndamukong Suh, and he's obviously been working out for them. They got AB back, and then that's obviously working out for them. They got Gronk out of retirement, that's working out for them. I think they are a little a little top heavy, and I still think their defense is suspect. That whole secondary is super young. I think they do play with I really like the swagger they play with. They play with the type of Burmy ones, we're gonna get you back type of deal almost. And what is it? The guy there, the defensive coordinator,
Todd Bowles.
Yeah, he's really good. He's a good defensive coordinator. Terrible head coach for the Jets.
Yes, well, I am a fan of him as a coordinator.
Yeah, exactly.
The Buccaneers are the definition of a win now team. Like after Tom Brady leaves, and then of course Gronk follows him because that's all he does, and then all the other vets leave because Tom Brady left. Like I don't know what they're gonna do. They're gonna have to find a whole new direction. They do have young players, but like they're gonna have to. They're not gonna sniff the playoffs for a while.
Well, yeah, but I mean, think about it, right?
They don't even have a quarterback right now to.
Yeah, but
really
you could take that in the same way of the Patriots. The Patriots kind of sold out. Excuse me. Oktoberfest, Sam Adams stuff is delicious. Yeah, but I was telling somebody yesterday, my buddy's dad, right? I said, yeah, the Patriots sold out, right? Because Jimmy Garoppolo is supposed to be the future, and I think if everything went to plan, you guys wouldn't be in such of a hole you are in right now, with spending all this money in free agency, it really not working out clearly on the field. You have a quarterback that, yeah, he was a top 15 pick, but you really don't know if he's a complete future.
No, we don't know that yet.
Exactly.
I mean, who's to say? I mean, you can't really say they planned that either. That was kind of luck that they sucked last year. Because, like, say they like just happened to sneak into that 7th seed in the playoffs, right? And then now all of a sudden they don't pick until 23. Mm-hmm. Then
who are you gonna get?
They don't have anybody.
Exactly, and you're stuck with.
Or they'd have to trade away. They would have had to trade away a lot of their star players just to get up to that 15th pick. So I think it kind of worked out in their way that Cam Newton did suck for a year.
Yeah, he got us our quarterback. You didn't need to go through that though. If you had, even if you see Garoppolo's career now, right? But even at the time, Garoppolo, he might not be a Tom Brady, but he's a way better transitional quarterback than
Cam Newton.
Yes. Right. You have more time. Yes, he can't stay healthy, but think about it. You guys had Jacoby Brissett, which was a good backup quarterback. Mm-hmm. The fact that you guys keep bringing back Brian Hoyer continues to I question Bill on that. Like, does Brian Hoyer have pictures of Bill? Does he have? I don't know how that man gets a job.
Like, no, like honestly, we as in, you know, I shouldn't say we. I never want to see.
I told you were a closet Bucks fan. You fucking. Ooh.
I never want to see Hoyer on the field ever again.
Oh yeah, no one does. But the fact that he still gets a job.
I think the reason is because he's so useful in the film room and everything else. And
bring him on as a consultant. Fuck that.
Yeah, I don't know. Or just tell him to retire and make him a coach.
Yeah.
Anything, you know. But like I said, do I ever want to see him throw another pass in my life? No. But apparently, from what I hear from Shefty, he's really helping Mac develop into his own person. So
okay,
I kind of.
Well, what if Mac? All right. So what if Mac gives you 7 years of mediocre? 7 years of mediocre BS, right? So instead of having a proper plan that Bill had in place, a successor that might not have been as good, but better than what you have now, and he'd be able to build the team properly for a rookie quarterback, correct? Mm-hmm. But you sold out just to get what I think at the time you guys won 2 more Super Bowls. When
yes.
you guys. So you sold out for 2 more Super Bowls. So you got the franchise has 7. So how many years do you think you're gonna have to go through?
The franchise has 6.
6. Okay, the franchise has 6. How many years do you think you're gonna have to go through to get back to another Super Bowl? How many years of mediocre BS?
At this pace?
Yeah, because think about it. The Patriots weren't always the Patriots before they started winning the Super Bowl. Like years back, they were trash.
Right.
So instead of building a multiple decade dynasty, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that dynasty could have went way longer than it did. You know, and the way it went out, it wasn't really good at all.
Do I think Mac Jones could with Bill Belichick? Eventually, yes. If Bill doesn't retire in the next 5 years, there's a chance, but it's gonna be a little while. If we're talking about like Josh McDaniels taking over as head coach, which please God help us if that happens.
No,
I don't see Mac Jones succeeding with a guy like McDaniels.
I think Bill. What's his face? Owner of the Patriots.
Mac Jones, Bill Belichick.
The owner of the Patriots, Mac Jones.
Like, who are you talking about?
The owner of the Patriots.
Oh, Kraft.
Kraft, right? I think if Kraft was going to put anybody in the head coaching position, I think he's going to put Bill's son.
That's what I kind of prefer, honestly. To keep having a Belichick.
I think I just think he's gonna go off a name, and once again, I think they're gonna start comparing his earlier seasons to Bill's earlier season career when he played for
both his sons are on the coaching staff. I don't even know if you knew that.
No, I didn't even know he had 2 sons.
Yeah, they're both on the coaching staff.
Who's their mother? You gotta be an ugly broad.
I don't know. It's not Linda.
Oh yeah, clearly. You don't know they're all rocking mullets.
Yeah, no.
I don't know who brought that back.
That's a thing.
That is a thing now. I see a lot of people rocking.
I don't know. But I wouldn't mind another Belichick.
Well, yeah. I mean, you just have that.
Because we saw what McDaniels.
That's just a name, though. You don't mind it because he's more familiar, even though he's nothing.
Yes.
He's won nothing.
I mean, he's been talking.
He's done nothing.
He's been talking about.
What's his coaching career? Where else has he coached at?
That I don't know. I imagine he didn't just go straight from high school to the Patriots.
What school?
I don't know.
Was he a coordinator?
I don't know. I don't have his Wikipedia page right here. I don't know.
You got a phone.
But obviously we know what McDaniels can do as head coach, and that's not a lot. So that's what I really don't want. Belichick understood what to do with the team for a rookie quarterback. It doesn't hurt that Trent Brown's hurt, but we have a solid offensive line when everyone's on the field.
Yeah, but he cannot.
He did spend the money on weapons
down the field.
Yes, he can.
No, he cannot.
That's a learning experience. It is getting better each week.
See, and this is where I find where a lot of Patriots fans are trying to compare Mac Jones an early Tom Brady. They're like, oh, well, Brady wasn't pushing the ball down the field. There's not going to be another Tom Brady. So stop comparing the two. Stop taking this man's career in his early days and, putting that to this man's career.
No, I
now.
won't compare those two.
Because that's exactly what their people are going to do if Bill Belichick's son takes over Bill.
They just have similar playing styles, and that's it. Like,
I don't think so.
Like, will Mac Jones ever be as clutch as Tom Brady? No.
They have similar body types, but play style, no, I don't really. Yeah, they're pro style quarterbacks. They're a pass first quarterback. Yeah, I give you that one. But
they're both slow, but they have a good.
I think Tom though. I think he's way more of a precision sniper when it comes to passing the ball, and I don't see that from.
Well, I think that's just from his 20 years of playing.
But even you look at Tom Brady in 2011, sniper.
Well, yeah, that's even with 11 years of playing. Like Mac Jones, this is his sixth career start. Like I think he's coming along. From what I see, like my expectations aren't that high, but I like what I'm seeing so far. It doesn't make me want to give up hope already.
So, would you say him not winning a Super Bowl in 5 years to 7 years of failure?
Probably.
Yeah, I would too.
Assuming Belichick's still there.
And think about it.
I think once Belichick's gone, all bets are off. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't predict that. But while Bill's here, if you were to tell me right now, confirm it with me that Bill will be there another 5 years, 5 to 7, I would confidently tell you, yes, they will do something.
Do something as in win the Super Bowl?
At least
that's what the standard is. At
least make it to the Super Bowl. Yes. But after Belichick leaves,
so you're saying he has to win an AFC championship, or it's an automatic failure?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think they have the potential. They definitely spent a lot of money to do it, and a lot of those players got.
So you would say
5-year contract.
Would you also say Lamar not going to an AFC championship or winning one in the next 2 years, 3 years? He's a failure. He's a bust? Okay, I agree with you on that. I just want to know if you'd say it.
No, like Lamar Jackson, he's like people want to put him in that elite category we were talking about earlier. He hasn't done anything.
He's not elite. But even the way he could be on a bad team and look elite, but he could look he could look better, but he can't throw the ball. He really can't throw the ball. No. You want to talk about being able to push the ball down the field? He can't push the ball down the field. I think he's decent at his intermediate passes, short to intermediate. He'll put him on the nose. But when it comes to pushing the ball down the field, I don't think he's, I think he needs to prove more. And I think over the past 3 years, he hasn't really proved anything. People give him a lot of cop out because he's, such an elusive runner and such a, he does so many great things with his feet. I think that's why people try to put him in that elite category.
He can throw 20 passes in a game, and 2 of them will have 20 plus yards traveled in the air. Right? Perfect connection. And Ravens fans will jump out of their couch saying, oh, look, see, I told you he can throw. But that's going off of 10% of his throws.
Mm-hmm. And see, my biggest problem is when I put a quarterback into an elite category, right, it's going to be you're elite at everything. Mm-hmm. Or you could be elite.
It's a big deal. People
or not everything, but when you elite passer, okay? Because I think having an elite running quarterback really doesn't mean much. Because you need somebody to be able to push the ball down the field. I mean, once they figure out that you can't throw the ball more than 20 yards down the field, they're gonna just load the box up. They're gonna start playing press coverage, and it's gonna fall apart pretty quick. I feel like that's what happens to Lamar every single year. He just relies on his feet throughout the year, and when it starts to get in colder territory, when games actually start meaning something, and he usually starts to fall apart. Mm-hmm. And when he happens to throw the ball a little more than he relies on his feet, he usually has a good game. And that's the crazy thing, because he'll have decent games here and there. He'll go through a 3-4 game stretch where he looks really, really good, and he looks almost to be elite. But then you can tell him he falls back into that, my feet are my end all be all, and he thinks he could kill everybody that way. When I think people figured him out by now.
If he's actually in the pocket, right, scanning the field, he can get out of so a couple guys are behind him trying to get to him. He can maneuver out of it.
Yeah.
But I think he's a quarterback. If his first read is not there, he'll give up on the play and just run.
Yeah.
He won't try and make his other reads.
Well, yeah, because he thinks that he can outbeat everybody with his feet.
And that's the problem.
Exactly. And so
he can, but then you're just one-dimensional.
But that's why Lamar Jackson will never be elite, though.
That's why I agree with that.
He will never be an elite quarterback and that's why you said that's why I like your top 3 elite quarterbacks because they are all elite passers. And I think as playing the quarterback position, you saying that you're an elite runner, it's like saying you have $100 of Monopoly money. It means nothing. It's nice to have. It's a nice luxury. But clearly, look at Tom Brady, look at Aaron Rodgers, and look at Pat Mahomes because those guys, they know how they can scramble. They're not elite runners. They're nowhere near. I'll even put Josh Allen would be right below that other elite, right before elite, but he'll be right first in the door.
Yeah.
Because they don't run super fast. I mean, Tom Brady is completely immobile. I remember that. Like, oh my God.
We used to call him the baby giraffe running.
Exactly, he's a baby giraffe running. He literally is. And then I wouldn't say Aaron Rodgers is any quicker than that. He's a little more quicker, and Pat Mahomes is a little quicker than that. But once again, those guys are all elite throwers. They all can push the ball down the field. Their intermediates on point, and the short passes are on point. Yeah, and I think it's better to be an elite field general. And I give all 3 guys, they're all elite field generals.
Oh, yeah, same thing with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, exactly.
He is the highest football IQ, probably, of any quarterback to ever play the game. Mm-hmm. And he couldn't run either. Mm-hmm. And he knew how to command an offense. You hear his audibles all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't have to... You can be one-dimensional, but as a quarterback, if you're going to be one-dimensional, it better be with your arm. Exactly. It better be with your arm talent.
What was that call he always made?
Who?
Manning.
Omaha?
Yeah. Omaha!
That's probably what Mike White was yelling yesterday on the game.
What number is he?
Oh, man. I'm trying to think. I'll look this up.
Mike White. But there was a lot of good games going on today. And like I said, once again, I think Josh Allen is probably right first in line to be elite. I think if he can go to the AFC Championship, catch a dub, I'll put him in that elite category because I think yes, he does kind of fall back into that the old process of I'm gonna use my feet a lot more. I don't think Josh Allen's super fast. He's just a big guy who can take large strides. That's my thing with him. I don't think he's some deathly fast quarterback. He's just a big guy.
Yeah, he's like I'd almost put him up there with like
he's like a really good Cam Newton.
I was gonna say a little slower Cam Newton.
I wouldn't say slower,
but he can truck you and like you said, big strides.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he can hurdle. I don't think Cam Newton can hurdle.
I think they both have before. They both done that flippy thing where they try and hurdle, but their legs get and they like almost land on their feet or do land on their feet. Like they've both done that before. But hey, we're talking about things from 10 years ago.
I hate that. I hate when I even noticed, right? I talk to my buddy's dad sometimes, right? We talk about football, and he brings up shit from like the history, right? They're talking about 20 years ago, 15 years ago. 20 to 25 years ago. The guy's on the older age. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to be polite. But that's I feel like that's my biggest problem because I think football has clearly evolved to a point where I think if you put any of those guys from like the early 90s back in today's age of football, they wouldn't know what the fuck to do. They couldn't handle it. Now I do like the I guess I do like the aggressiveness and the brutal savagery of like early 90s football, late 90s, even early 2000s. I obviously I think the league has really gotten, oh my god, they got PT or whatever the fuck that brain stuff is. They got a little bit of that stuff, brain stuff. I think the NFL is definitely more like they don't want to catch any more lawsuits.
Right. You'll hear people talk about that all the time. They'll say like, oh, if any player from 30 years ago played in today's league, they would dominate.
No, that's a lie.
Because if you look at the players today, like 20 years ago, I was just reading about this today. Like, back then, having a linebacker on a running back and pass coverage would be like a favorable matchup. Now linebackers are so much quicker because everybody played safety and they're hybrids.
Yeah, exactly.
Like everybody's so much more versatile.
I think you take any player, right? you take any top player a Lynn Swan, any of those like crazy receivers, right, and put them against like this league's top 5 receivers, they're getting smoked. Mm-hmm. Route running, speed, agility, catching, they're getting smoked. I don't care. Like even the core. I mean, maybe quarterbacks, like an Elway, like quarterbacks way back then, like an Archie Manning. Maybe they could be decent in today's game. I'm really going way back, kind of hopping all throughout history. But
Dan
I'm talking,
Marino probably.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You always hear like a lot of the old commentators that are quarterbacks. They always like a Boomer Esiason. They're always saying like, oh, if we played in this day and age, we'd be cutting it up. And it's like you look at the tapes way back then, and it's just like, no, this is a totally different game of football. This is like the world's mayonnaise version of football. It's very brutal, but it's very like dumbed the fuck down. And I think you have. And that's why I give respect to Bill Belichick a lot, because to be a guy so old, to be and so in tune with in today's day and today's game and stuff, and he's developed over the year. His game plans have developed. His defense and his defensive calling has developed over the years, where he's adapted to the game. Because at some point or another, I think a lot of coaches they try to just say, "Oh, I know best, and I'm gonna keep doing the same thing until it works." I mean, you could only run inside veer for, 10 plus years till everybody figures it the fuck out. You could only run like a handful of fucking plays, And
I respect Belichick. He's been in the league 47 years, I just heard today.
Yeah.
Coaching in the league.
Exactly. That's 47 years of evolving.
Right. But a lot of especially his defensive planning, like offensive has been more evolving. But on the defensive side of the ball.
Because you have to accommodate for those those crazy ass receivers they have nowadays, like a Tyreek Hill, like a DK Metcalf, a Julio Jones, and Jamal Adams. Like these guys are crazy agility, route running, and I guarantee.
Yeah, they found Jerry Rice roofing houses.
Roofing houses. Yeah. And you telling me like he's the most precise route runner, right? He could definitely outrun the top 5 receivers in this league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
I saw this little beef DK Metcalf had with Shannon Sharp. Yeah. And this is why I really hate a lot of like older players. They're like, oh, we did this and this is how the game's played, and it's like, no. A lot of people nowadays, these younger players, they don't care a lot what these older players have to say. That's why they'll go after Shannon Sharp. And of course Shannon Sharp's gonna throw the fact that, ooh, look at me, I'm a Hall of Famer, 2-time Super Bowl champion. That's good for him, right? Mm-hmm. Two-time.
I believe so.
Yeah. Broncos, Ravens.
Yes.
Exactly. And I think that's a career to aspire for. But I think a lot of these former players think that they can just they can just tell these younger players, how things are done, and they're supposed to be super receptive and just be like, oh, gimme. Like some of them really don't give a fuck what you have to say. Some of them I want to completely reinvent the NFL. I mean, Shannon Sharp couldn't last in today's league. Even if you put Shannon Sharp in his prime, he can't. He wouldn't be what it is like a Gronk is. Like he would not be that. Even you look at every position. Every position has gotten 10 times more athletic. You can go from the kicker, the punter, maybe not that. But I'm talking about from like offensive linemen. You could take, you can even, or defensive lineman. You could take the heaviest defensive lineman, right? Mm-hmm. And put him against an average defensive lineman in like the 80s and 80s and the 70s. He's probably going to be a min 40. Like that, it's just the form, the technique. It's completely more refined.
Plus, it's a lot harder to get into the league now. They want the top recruits in the country now.
Exactly.
Before it was, they saw them, doing everyday jobs. It's like, hey,
yeah,
you want to come
that's
play?
A big guy. Oh yeah, you want to come play football for my, franchise? Like some bullshit. It's almost like at the time it was almost like playing like semi-professional football. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people might take that in a disrespectful tone, but that's what it is. I mean, when you're not getting the cream of the crop, it's not really that professional.
That's why I'll go as far as to say people always gasp when I say that. I think Randy Moss is the most athletic receiver I ever played. But it's like, it's not, if Randy Moss played 22 or 23 years, however many years Rice played, he'd have similar stats too. He was actually a freak of nature. Jerry Rice, he just played a long time, and that's why he was able to soak up all those records.
He had a big drug problem.
Did he?
Yeah.
And you stick him.
He had a show with Nick Wright. I actually liked him on First Things First, and I heard that he got kicked off a while ago.
No, I didn't.
You want to talk about some other Stephen A. Smith, right? I'm not a big fan of that guy. Not a big fan of his.
It depends on the day.
It depends on the. It could be any day. And it's funny because he got Max Kellerman off his show. So now he has a rotating door of people. He's got since Tim Tebow has nothing to do anymore, he's got him every Friday. He's got what's his 88 for the Dallas Cowboys way back in the day. Michael Irving.
Yes.
He got Michael Irving every Monday. And I don't know, like I've looked at some of the ratings, and the ratings have fell off super bad. I mean, we're almost catching up. I'm just kidding. With the ratings on super bad, I try to watch Steven.
Let's give Max Kellerman a call. Clearly, he's where the ratings are at.
Well, yeah, that's the biggest thing. I look at even Booker McFarland. Like I feel like a lot of these guys who have the big shows. You look at some of Stephen A's some of his takes, and you're just like, dude, have you ever watched the game of football? And I feel like he's like the Skip Bayless he is Skip Bayless, right? Somebody who wasn't really good enough to play, sports. I mean, he did play a little bit of college ball, I'm pretty sure.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and might have played a little bit of college basketball, but I don't really think he was that good. I mean, if he was any good, he'd be playing. He would have played somewhere. And I think I think he does a lot of things that Skip Bayless does. He's he'll really shit on somebody when they're really down. And then when he really likes somebody, regardless what it is, he'll hype them up in any way possible. Mm-hmm. Kind of what Skip Bayless does. But I digress.
Like that's why I'll give Colin Cowherd some credit.
I like
because
Colin Cowherd.
I don't love all his takes, but he'll be that guy to go out on a limb and actually say his own thing. He won't just agree with the mainstream media. So I kind of respect that about him, even though he does say some stupid stuff too.
My God, the lady who also does Stephen A. show.
Stephen A. show, I don't know.
No, not Stephen A. show. First Take.
That's another one I don't know.
Something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Molly, she's so annoying. Like, she's the type of person, like, they'll have a heated debate and she'll be like, whoa, 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 whoa! I'm a lady, let me say something. Go ahead, Molly. I have nothing to say. There's like sometimes where Max Collins is just like, okay, Molly, yeah, is that it? Is that everything? You dumb bitch. Like, come on, shut up. Molly Karam Rose. Yeah. That's who she is. I'm not a big fan. I like Jenny.
It's like Kay Adams from Good Morning America. Like she'll yeah, you know everyone's name and the teams they're on, but like
you don't know anything besides that. Please go in depth.
Give me an actual opinion, or she'll just be like, whoa guys, whoa, I agree with everything you're saying. Continue.
I'm a lady.
And I agree. I approve.
I approve. Yeah, I really like Jenny though. Like I say, it kind of depends on the day. I'll watch Undisputed. Sometimes Shannon Sharp really, really, really pisses me off. Like he says some dumbass shit, and Skip Bayless the same way. But I really like.
You want to talk about a closeted Buccaneers fan? Look at Skip Bayless.
Oh my God, he is the biggest. And I don't think he is a Dallas Cowboy fan, but yeah, that guy, whatever Tom Brady goes, he's gonna be sucking dick. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, no, that's true. But
yeah, what else we got on today's jacket?
Well, I saw a thing where, we were talking about all these talk shows, and on the NFL Network, they were discussing whether Derrick Henry is already a Hall of Famer and one of the best running backs of all time. So, I mean, we were talking about before, can former players from the past survive in today's league? They were comparing Derrick Henry to players like Jim Brown.
Or like Barry Sanders.
But
if you take... that's what I have a problem with, right? Because if I took film from Barry Sanders and put film from, Derrick Henry, right? I want Barry Sanders. Mm-hmm. Even in fucking Madden, you want Barry Sanders because he's an elite and elusive running back. But once again, those defensive players weren't these refined tacklers. I'm not saying the tacklers today are the best because I do see, a lot of bad tackles, but, they're not, the technique wasn't as refined, the defense weren't as good, I think a lot of them were just a lot of hard hitting, a lot of hard hitters. Mm-hmm. If you have a hard hitter on your defense, that was you got a spot on the defense, as a player. It wasn't really relying on technique,
Right.
And I think
today, Jim Brown was able to run people over, but like, was he the fastest? Was he the most elusive? No. So that's what, and to say that Derrick Henry is already a Hall of Famer, I wouldn't go that far.
I think he's the best running back since his career started.
Yes, I would agree with that.
In the NFL.
And I'll admit, I was one
even
of those
at
people,
Alabama, he was filthy.
I don't watch college, but like I remember being one of those people to say constantly that Henry's overrated and how slow he was. We talked about this last week. How he was just big.
He's a big guy, so like he takes really long strides. Like one stride for him is like 4 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So like it doesn't look like he's moving that fast, but he moves fast. It's like Lamar Jackson. He's elusive, so he gives that illusion of moving way faster, but he's not as fast as Derrick Henry. And then that's what I'll say about that. I think I'll give you that he is the best running back since he came out in the league.
Yes.
Like I said, I think Saquon could be something to talk about, but he just can't stay healthy.
No, he can't stay on the field. But I mean,
Christian McCaffrey's nothing to sleep on too. I'll take him at number 2 in that spot as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's not somebody I'd sleep on.
He's also got to stay on the field though, because he's been dealing with injuries.
Yeah, but when he stayed on the field more than Saquon, and that's what I really have a problem with. Like a guy who's such a freak of nature, you seem to be so fragile. And like I saw that picture of his ankle after he hurt it. Thing is swollen up like a fucking bowling ball.
I give Derrick Henry credit for staying on the field. I read a stat today saying.
Well, you see that guy's workout?
Yeah, he's gonna be on pace for 500 carries this season.
But he's
I remember calling it last year. Last year he had his 2,000 rushing yard season, right?
Yep.
And so I remember saying last offseason, like, watch, this guy's going to get hurt early in the year because they're just going to keep overworking him. And then the Titans are going to fall off the map because he is literally their offense.
Yeah.
And he's still playing lights out.
I think he puts like that LeBron type of work into his body. I follow him on Instagram, so I see like a lot of his workouts. He does a lot of band work, but a lot of band work with weight, so his stability is really good. Mm-hmm. And that's why that guy can pretty much thread. Like for a guy that big, like he can thread the needle on the sideline. Like he's got perfect balance. And yeah, with somebody, but that goes to show the amount of care and the amount of effort he puts into his body.
Right.
Like
I give him credit for that.
Yeah, like Saquon, yeah, he might look big, but I mean, when it comes to, I feel like working out and looking super muscular is way different than doing football type of exercises to help you, because just looking big isn't all it is. You got to work all your time.
His quads are big, but that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. I feel like that was the biggest thing about him. He was crazy at Penn State, but like I think he looked like such a freak of nature, and people were just like, oh yeah, of course he's going to be a fantastic running back.
Yeah, especially
even
in the NFL.
Christian McCaffrey. He's such a freak of nature. And physically a freak of nature, and he played really good at Stanford. And he still had that problem, though, of staying healthy a few times. He had to battle a few injuries at Stanford, but, he stayed on the field more than Saquon. So
right. Saquon has, he dealt with the ACL. McCaffrey is more of just nagging things at, hamstrings, stupid stuff, keeping him off the field. So, but, I don't know.
Yeah,
But to answer the question, I think Derrick Henry's still got a ways to go before we call him a Hall of Famer, let alone the greatest of all time.
I give him, if he keeps this up for 2-3 years, I put him in there.
Yeah.
I'm
not denying. I'm not saying he never.
It might take him a while to actually get in there, but I put him in the conversation. He should be on the ballot.
Right. I'm not exactly. I'm not saying he's like Lamar. I will go out on a limb and say he will never be elite. Derrick Henry, I won't. I'm not going to be that guy to say, oh, he'll never be a Hall of Famer. He's on pace. The tools.
Yeah, exactly. He's on pace to do it. I think he could do it though. I think the Titans really, really. I think the Titans know that they'll ever be, and so obviously if he goes away, they go away. Right. And that's why they paid the man big money.
Right. That's why I said last week I don't believe in paying running backs, but a guy like that you have to. If you had Mahomes as your quarterback, it'd be a different story. Because you do have some good receivers, but Ryan Tannehill, without a running game, I don't see how far you can go.
Exactly, but I think Ryan Tannehill is just good enough to get them over the hump. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? For the time that they need to throw the ball, I think Ryan Tannehill can get it done. Yeah.
I mean, will they win a Super Bowl? I don't know about
Probably
that.
not.
But I mean,
maybe.
They've been finding themselves in the playoffs every year. So
Exactly.
who knows what can happen?
Exactly. Give them that. All right. I think this is gonna wrap this one up with a motherfucking bow on that shit. Doo 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 boop bop.
Everyone, lock your doors tonight. Don't let Mike White in.
Mike White. Who's that?
It's like that episode of SpongeBob where they drew the ghost on the paper and on the fishing pole and stuck it through his window.
I'm Mike White. I'm gonna throw 405 yards on you. Oh no, Joe Burrow. Oh my God.
That's going in the thumbnail.
Oh my God. This is a good week though. I think we got a little bit of Sunday night football going on. We're gonna catch tonight, and we're gonna pick you guys back up next week.
As always.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for tuning in.
Listening, lending your ears.
Have a happy Halloween.
Maybe if you cleaned your ears, you could hear us a little better. Some people got a little bit of earwax.
No more squeaking chairs.
Yeah. Hopefully, I really like. Hopefully, the sound's better. Everybody, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, join the conversation as always. Share, do all that good stuff.
And we're gonna catch you guys next week.
Thank you for listening.